right, welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Weez,
Yo, what's good? It's Moo here.
And it's Yello.
Yo.
and welcome back to another episode. Today, actually, we got quite an interesting episode lined up for you guys. We gonna make things a little interesting with this quarantine time. It's been quite a hard lockdown for a lot of us, especially me. Um, and something very interesting came up. But before we dive into that, how's everyone been doing?
Uh, Go ahead, yeah. You thought first.
Yeah, pretty good so far. Honestly, started the day late. Got out of bed at 5 and I wanted to kill myself. 5 p.m., not a.m. So,
There goes demonetization, bro.
Yeah.
You should have went into hi guys.
2 minutes in.
Yo, cut.
No, but I woke up late.
Yeah.
Up for like 3. Yeah.
Yeah, but on the bright side, I managed to go on a ride on my bike, so that was pretty fun.
Did you get your? I know you wanted to try biking without your hands for the first time. Did you get it done?
No, bro, I kept losing balance. I felt I was gonna fall and die. So
Did you try the thumb, the middle finger technique?
yeah, like the middle finger technique.
Yeah. Middle finger, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I tried. I tried it, and yeah, no, it didn't work out as much as I hoped it would. So I'm guessing maybe because my bike is a heavier bike or whatever.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, my day's been late too, man. I woke up at 3, cooked, and then now I'm chilling. We talked a lot about the idea that Mama was talking about earlier. We fleshed out the details. Was working on recruiting people for that. So everything is in the progress, in the
Pipeline?
basically pipeline. Yeah, that's the word. Everything is in the pipeline. It's in the process. We're almost there. We're gonna talk about it later. But first, we want to start off the podcast since it's our very first podcast. Well, we recorded like 3 times, but I messed it up with the software we're recording, so it didn't pick up our voices. This is our official first podcast ever. Let's talk about a little bit about what we're gonna do here. What are you guys? So, give us your input on why we're doing this podcast, guys.
Well, the way I see it is this podcast is um it's gonna be a couple of things. One is gonna be a cool growth project to see how we grow over the years, how our opinions change. We don't necessarily have any one thing to focus on. We're essentially a tight group of city kids, and we're just gonna give you kind of different perspectives on a lot of issues in life. Most likely current topics. But we're not gonna limit it to anything in particular. If there's anything that you guys find interesting, you want to see us cover, shoot a comment. See, who knows? Maybe we'll do it on the next episode.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna try to talk about just about anything and everything, and you guys can keep giving suggestions, and we'll get on. And we're open to pretty much anything. We're not really like all 3 of us. We're fairly open minded. We'll talk about anything as long as it's not some super controversial thing. And even then, we're not afraid to give our opinion, unless it's like in danger. We're gonna put our life in danger, but otherwise, we're gonna be okay with giving our opinion. And we're gonna have people over too, right? Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, so we'd like to invite some of our friends over every now and then to the podcast just to get a different opinion, a different point of view, have a change of dynamics than what you guys will be used to. But yeah, that's the idea. And what I think is really cool is that because we all come from different backgrounds, different cultures, and so on. The viewer will have a chance to kind of experience multiple cultures at once. So I think that's going to be a really cool aspect of our podcast.
And
I
also,
mean, yeah.
yeah.
No, I was just gonna say that like we're a really good group of friends, and I feel like you guys will feel part of the circle too. You know what I mean? That's kind of the point. This is not it's not just us, and because kind of we're your usual city kids, a lot of people will be able to relate. We kind of want to fill that gap where most of the podcasts nowadays you see are just much older people. Some of them might have started young, like other YouTubers, but like right now they're in their mid 30s, late 30s, 40s, and so on. So there's not much relatable content, and there are some younger YouTubers out there who are doing this, but they're lacking a few brain cells. I won't name names.
Some of them are, yeah, for sure. And we are putting this on both YouTube and on podcast platforms because we want to make it so you guys who are you're on the go, you guys can listen just audio, and then if you have time and you want to see our faces, you want to see some of the stuff that we're sharing on our screens, then you can feel free to check us out on YouTube as well. And our YouTube channel is going to serve for other purposes too. We're going to upload other type of content too, so it's not mainly just podcasts. So you guys can pretty much get different type of content from us if you're down for that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
speaking of content, I say we jump right into it.
Oh yeah, we jump. Okay, so tell us first how this. Okay, so during this quarantine, we were bored. Most of us, some of our boys, they're doing Ramadan, which means they're just fasting. Because of that, they stay up later at night so that they can eat longer and just enjoy their time. That's mainly the reason why you guys stay up at night, so you guys can eat longer. And we were chatting on our Facebook chat, so we have a group chat, and we had about we're I think 9 or 10 in that, and most of us were awake at night at 3 a.m. and we were just chatting. And at one point, one of our friend, he was just goofing around and he added a random girl to the group. And we're like, yo, what are you doing? Blah, blah. Like our group chat has way too many secrets that will probably get us all jailed or lose our job. So we can't have anyone enter this group chat in any situation. He did it anyway, so we're like, oh crap, and we removed her out of the group. And then he started adding a few others. And then Mahuan hit us up with a good idea. So Mahuan, tell us about your thought process there.
All right. So essentially, after him adding that, we all obviously found it funny. Like who's this person that just was randomly thrown into this group, and she probably has no idea what the hell is going on. Um, and so obviously, to protect us and to protect our secrets, we kicked that person out, even though my boy kept adding everybody back in.
Yeah.
We managed not have any evidence leaked for the
Yeah.
time being. Um, and then it clicked in my head, this would be a cool idea. Yeah, let's have a separate group chat where we just add random people for the night and just kind of, since everybody's home,
Yeah.
add random people into a group chat and we just start talking. And then I realized it'll probably be a little too hectic. It's kind of weird getting added into a random group chat,
Mhm.
especially you don't see faces, you don't see much action going on. You just see a bunch of people typing. You don't know them. It's kind of weird. And chances are you won't get the responses or you won't get the interactions that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So at that point, it clicked in my head. I'm like, you know what? Since we're all quarantined up, why not we kind of throw our own version of the reality TV shows that we're seeing, because all of us have been chilling at home. We've kind of, like emptied out all of Netflix, my guy, all of Hulu, all of Prime Video. We just cleared it up. And that includes reality TV shows, unfortunately,
Right.
Unfortunately, bro.
Yeah, bro, and so I thought about it. I'm like, I've already lost my last 2 brain cells watching them. How can I take it a step further?
Right.
We host our own.
How can I lose the rest of it?
I like just so the viewers or the audience are listening in. So the two main reality TV shows most of us just recently watched too, and that are recently very popular on the internet too, are The Circle and Love Is Blind. So those are the two that we're inspired by. So we decided to host our own version of, kind of like our own version of Love Is Blind, but with a lot of different rules. And we're not really primarily focused on just love. It can also be just friendship as well. And so we're planning to host one of these games where we're gonna have 6 men and 6 women join us in this game. They don't know each other, so the two genders, they don't know each other at all. So they're people from completely different group of friends. So we got these women recruited in a way who are our friends, so that they don't know any of the guys that are participating in this. And within the 6 men, our boy Iyad and sorry, we're like in the opposite in my camera, right? No, I'm right. This is Iyad
Yeah,
and Marwan.
yeah.
They're both joining in. No, on my camera, the camera is inverted. So like I'm pointing at Iyad here, but it's actually Marwan on my camera. On my screen, sorry. So these 2 boys are going to be joining, and 4 other friends are going to be joining in too. And we're going to have them talk to the women anonymously. So they have no idea how they look. They have no idea who these people are. We won't even be giving each other's and they're going to be stuck having this conversation with these anonymous women, and then we're going to have them rotate over so that each guy and each girl get a chance to talk to each other. You guys want to add on?
Yeah, just
Does
to
that make sense?
clarify, so just as me and Yad are participants, actually the moderator is Mohir.
Yeah.
So what his job is kind of creating the background
Yeah.
story of the game, creating the rules. He's got all of the rules set up. I guess we'll post the rules on screen right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Let me just put in a notepad so that it looks cleaner for you guys. But continue talking.
so kind of there's no expectations whatsoever. We're not doing this like the actual shows to find love. This is kind of one of those things we've thought, you know what, we're not doing anything at night. So let's do something interesting. Let's do something fun. Uh, Pass the time and also give you guys some interesting content to watch. Chances are this is gonna end up um, pretty hella awkward.
It's
Oh,
gonna be
100%.
very awkward.
But
Because
you know what? Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I've never been in that situation. I'm an in person, like, I prefer seeing people in person. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because you get the vibe of the person. You get to see, okay, you know what, are they feeling my vibe? They're not feeling my vibe. It is what it is. It's you only take the conversation as far as it's meant to be taken, depending on the person and depending on how the vibe is going. Online is different, so that's gonna be very interesting. Uh, like I said, obviously no expectations, but this will be hilarious. Um, and I'm really excited for that, to be honest.
And
So
what I
go ahead.
wanted to
Yeah.
add to that is, I can ever since high school, I heard this quote where it's like a situation is only as awkward as you make it out to be. So I think if you go in full force, no awkwardness, just go with the flow. I think it'll go fine. But I guess only time will tell how that will work out. And yeah,
But
vote
here's
for
the
me,
thing:
boys.
What is that?
I said vote for me.
I was just gonna say, because I was thinking about that for a second. I was like, okay, like, at least when you kind of see the person, you kind of, there's things about them that prompt certain questions. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
You want to ask what
Uh,
ethnicity they are or whatever that guys tend to do.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But because this is not at all like any like dating profile or anything, you won't have any interests. There's no bio. Like, you don't know anything. So the first time you hear the person, it's literally the first time you hear the person.
And unless you have
And
that voice, though, that's like, usually if you're just texting, you have completely zero clue. But with a voice, you have a extra element at least that you can work, like
one hundred
having an
Absolutely.
percent,
accent or whatever. Yeah,
100%, 100%. But the voice thing also is very I don't know. Like, is it okay, so? This is what I was thinking about. I'm like, am I gonna kind of start off the same conversation the exact same way with all six girls?
you could. Some guys on. So for anyone who did watch Blind Love, some guys they kind of had like this list of questions they were asking the, and once like the conversation gets going, they drift away, right? So it depends on what the girl tells you and whatnot, and then you can have a really deep conversation if you guys lead to for
And
sure.
to add to that, I think from someone's voice, because you're not looking at them as a person, you'll be able to pick up maybe certain cues or certain things that you wouldn't have normally picked up if you were looking at them or sitting with them in
For
person.
sure,
So,
exactly.
maybe you could tell from their voice that they're comfortable or they're not comfortable, or they're feeling awkward or shy or scared or what have you. So, I think with each individual, it'll play out differently
For sure.
from the previous one.
And if you guys like, well, me as a host, I'm obviously hoping that all the guys are, and all the girls, of course, are true to themselves. They're not going to start having a fake personality on in this game, I guess. But I mean, if that's what they want to go with, I hope they keep that fake personality the whole way through, and they don't just swap up here and there. I'd be definitely interested to see. And
Well,
that's
before we get a little too much into it, I was just gonna say we didn't really explain the process game, so I'll just
no, that's why
like
I have the rules opened up right here on stream. So yeah, are you gonna explain the rules? Is that what you
no,
want to do?
you go through it. You're the moderator.
Okay. So in this case, so what we're doing, so like I explained earlier, it's 6 male, 6 female participants. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that, like I explained earlier too, everyone is anonymous. So the guys, they know each other, unfortunately, because we organize this in a group. But the women, most of them do not know each other, and they don't even know the guys nor the women that are participating. So for them, it's very scary, most likely. So we're gonna make sure that I'm gonna make sure that I explain all the rules properly to them, and we already got consent from everyone involved that we can film, record everything they're doing. So don't worry about that. Everyone is perfectly aware, and we're gonna have And I'm going a little bit off tangent, but we're gonna have everyone record themselves while they're talking too during this entire, so that you guys as viewers are able to see the reaction and the facial expressions of all these people throughout. So how the
This is
game is
me. This is me ducking like lawsuits we got from Ken. Just making sure everyone knows.
we're making sure that everything is like good to go and everyone is perfectly happy with the. So basically, how we're gonna do it is on Discord. We have separate rooms. So we have it so that we have 6 separate rooms. Since we have 6 men, 6 women, we have 6 separate rooms, and each room can accommodate 2 people. And it's gonna be one guy, one girl. And me as a moderator, I'm gonna first allocate one woman to each room, and then I'm gonna allocate one guy by random to each room as a first day, first, and then they get to talk to each other. We're gonna probably set up some timer and just let them have their conversation. Of course, all these conversations are recorded, but we're hoping all the participants are going to be talking to each other without really paying attention to the recording. Because I know maybe some people might change up the way they talk or avoid certain topics because they'll be recorded. But hopefully, they're able to talk naturally. And then once that's over, we're going to allow a rotation. So everyone can let me know who they would like to talk to. So they can say, I want to talk to the second guy, I want to talk to the third guy, and so on. And each day it's going to be my duty to make sure everyone wants to talk, gets to talk to the person that they want. And that by the end of this game, which will span over 3 or 5 days, we're aiming for 3 days, right? Most likely, guys.
Yeah, but
Well,
I think it might change as we go
As we
along.
go on, exactly. So right now we're aiming for perhaps 3 or 5 days. So each day the guys and the girls get to talk to each other and kind of get to know each other. And eventually, as these days progress, they can let me know the specific guys or girls they want to talk to, and I'll make sure they get their conversation. And by the end of the talking stage, everyone will get to choose the one person they want to FaceTime. And that one person they're going to be able to FaceTime, I'm going to allocate the ability for all these people to finally open up the video. So until this, none of the players have the ability to actually open the video. So there's no way they can see each other. And no one knows each other's real identity. So there's no way they add each other to actually show each other. And say one player doesn't want to see anyone because he or she just stopped giving like a shit about the game, or they don't find anyone like remotely interesting, then they can leave the game. So if they leave the game, then that means one other player will not have someone to FaceTime, and unfortunately the person who is not selected to get FaceTime will get kicked out of the game. So let's say at the end of the 5th day, assuming we're doing a 5-day game, we're left with a few couples, or couples in quotation mark, that want to FaceTime each other. And that's going to be the next stage of the game, which is now they get to see each other. And we're going to be seeing how these people are going to interact differently and talk to each other differently, and how emotions and different bonds get developed now that they have their visual cues. So that's the whole idea. And maybe, perhaps, we'll see how that goes. But after the FaceTime stage, we'll see if people still want to remain friends, and maybe we'll involve like a prize of Uber Eats or something like that. We haven't fleshed that out yet. That's all left for the budgeting. But aside that, yeah, that's the main idea of the.
I mean, like after the quarantine, you don't know. We can like turn this into like an in-person meetup.
Exactly.
I'm definitely down to do a follow-up episode in person with everyone
That's
after this
actually a
quarantine
great
is
thing.
done. Kind of like
Yeah,
a get together lunch or something like that. Where
For sure.
everyone can like discuss and laugh.
just have a talk about it and
That's actually a
reflect
great
on what
thing.
happened. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
also, another thing I wanted to add is in this game, we're going to, after each day or so, after everyone gets to have their conversation, we're going to allow all the guys to talk to each other, just like in Blind Love, where they had their
Love is
kind
blind.
of the.
Yeah.
Oh, Love is Blind, sorry. Where guys had their rooms and women had their rooms, and they got to talk to each other and gossip. So we're gonna allow each gender to do that so that they can kind of gossip about the guys they talk to or the girls they talk to. And maybe we could start some drama, some juicy YouTube views. So we'll see about that one. I mean, some of the guys that are participating have very strong personalities. So if they can stick to their personality in practice, then it's going to be a lot of fun for you guys. And obviously, it's going to be my job to make sure everyone is following. And at the end of it, I'm going to try to my best to edit it out so that you guys can have like a good content to view on YouTube too.
Okay, question for the moderator. Let's say you're stuck with a situation where let's say there's 6 dudes and the majority of the likes are mismatched. Are you gonna do a 1, 2, 3 tier system where you try to match the person, or how are you gonna roll with that? Let's say because there's
Oh,
six
so
dudes
after
and
day one, you mean? Say after
Yeah,
day
I
one,
mean,
it's
I think we should at least do 2 days worth of just
Conversations.
circulation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay.
before we start doing the match. I think the matching could happen on day 3. After which we can do the mini games,
Okay.
where a person will give you, let's say, their top two, and so that they narrow the list. So it's not okay. I only want to talk to one person, but let's say person one and person two I'm interested in. So and then we can develop like mini games on day 3 and 4 to kind of help them decide between person 3 and person 4,
Mm-hmm.
or 1 and 2 rather.
I
You
mean,
see
for
where I'm
sure.
going there?
We're gonna have to see how the first day goes, and if I'm seeing that people are building bonds, then it's gonna be fairly easy by day to see who wants to talk to who, right? There's a good chance everyone's gonna narrow it down. But if let's say everyone is talking to everyone and they don't really see like a specific winner for who they want to FaceTime, then yeah, then I'm gonna have to discuss with you guys, discuss with the girls too, and try to figure out a way to make sure that we have someone wanting to FaceTime the other person. We'll work all that out in practice. Right now, everything is very much fluid. Nothing is set in stone, and we'll have to see. We're hoping to actually try to record all this or start this whole process tomorrow, most likely. If not tomorrow, then after tomorrow. So today is the 27th or 28th since we're
I
recording
mean,
past midnight.
I'm pretty sure we got everyone confirmed.
I mean, we got
Uh,
5 girls and 6 guys. We just need to get one more
Come on, fam.
girl
Okay,
joining
fair
too.
enough. Yeah, yeah.
Because that's the thing, we're able to get some more girls to participate, but the question here is, are they willing to get recorded and filmed? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's obviously we need their consent. So once we get that 6th girl, we're confirmed, and if we can, unfortunately, get the 6th girl, and then we're probably gonna kick out one of the guys, the last one who joined. And yeah, so now, I'm hoping since we have this podcast and we can see you two that none of the girls participating are going to view this podcast because then
Well,
it'll be
anyways,
very hard.
we're not gonna release this till after.
Yeah,
I
at
don't
least
think I don't.
after, yeah.
Yeah,
I
at least
mean,
after the FaceTime sessions.
yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. So we'll probably will tell this until then, and for whoever is listening, you guys can check out probably a release. But for
Yeah.
now, that's the concept. But that's pretty much it for the game. We'll let you guys know for sure in the future podcast when these videos are released, so you guys can check it out. But for now, I actually want to drift this conversation on to how you guys got into reality TV show. So
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
so for
Ooh.
me, it started, I think, a couple of years ago. I don't know how or why or where, but I was just chilling on YouTube, and a 90 Day Fiance clip popped up, and I'm like, "Hey, you know what? This seems interesting. What the hell is this? What the hell is 90 Day Fiance?" So I click it, and it's my boy. I think his name was Azan, and he's saying that how he loves his wife only 55%. And at the
Ooh,
time, I was like,
yeah.
"Yo, what is this? What is this? I need more." So that's how it developed. I started watching 90 Day Fiance, watching clips here and there, and yo, this show is so bad, it's good. Like I don't know how else to describe it, but yeah. So and then I found out that a couple of my friends actually do watch it too. So we started talking about it and so on and so forth. And then, one thing led to another. More reality TV shows started popping up. So that's how I got into The Circle, Love is Blind. I've heard about Hot Island or
Too
Too
hot
hot
to
to handle.
handle.
Too Hot to Handle. There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet, but might be on the list of
it's a
things
funny
to also
show.
add.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, I don't have these brain
Um,
cells not to waste. Gotta kill every last one of them. So
that's for sure, man. That's for sure.
um, ooh. So interestingly enough, I got introduced to reality TV. I think it was around 2012.
Oh wow.
Um, it was the classic, good old Jersey Shore.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched, I think, like 5 or 6 seasons
Oh, you actually
straight.
watched
Like
all
wow.
these
I
seasons?
did, I did.
Damn, that's a side of me
I
I didn't
was,
even know.
I was heavy invested. This was back. I was what, 16 at the time. It was actually the first girl I was dating that put me on it,
Okay, okay.
and I found that interesting. I was like, yo, these people are like stupid,
Yeah.
but they're having fun. And especially when you're younger, I find like uh, you're super interested in these like hypersexualized
You
shows.
want to see how they are like clubbing and all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
at that
Mm-hmm.
age,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So
Yeah, yeah,
when I mean hypersexualized, I mean clubbing. I mean like the constant tension between the chicks and the
yeah, yeah.
dudes. Because when you begin to develop, you're like, okay, that's kind of how it's going to be in the future. Like, no,
Well,
that's
that's
not
what
how
I'm
it
thinking.
happens.
'Cause- yeah, yeah, exactly.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. That's not how it happens. And you only realize that later on in life.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, after that, I just watched. So there's the UK version of Jersey Shore. It's called Geordie Shore.
Oh, that was an actual thing. I thought it was a meme when everyone
No,
said
it's an
Geordie Shore. Right?
actual
Okay.
thing.
Wow. Okay.
Um, same concept, same everything. Literally the same thing. Um,
Mm.
yeah, honestly. And then since then, I don't think I've really watched anything else up until this
Until recently,
quarantine.
eh?
Yeah, where we hopped on Love is Blind. I was very skeptical at first.
Yeah.
My boy Mohir put me on that. He was like, "Yo, you gotta watch that."
Yeah, it was funny. Yo, that's the
Um,
thing. Love is Blind. I didn't start it because until Iyad and Yakub told me about that too, and they were laughing.
Bro,
yeah,
Love is Blind's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yakub actually told me about that when we were doing a drive back to Montreal like a month and a half ago.
yeah,
Hmm.
And he was talking about this concept. He was like, "Yo, I watched this episode one." And I'm just looking at him. I'm like, but you're actually retarded."
yeah.
I'm
You're
like,
watching the
you're
same.
missing some
Yeah,
brain cells.
yeah,
Little
I
do
mean,
I
you're
know.
not wrong. When you watch reality TV, you end up losing some. But
yeah.
no disrespect to anybody who loves reality TVs, but
I mean, we
uh,
love reality TV
yeah,
though.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
at this point, like
Yeah,
we are one of you. So I
like
mean,
that's
me,
the
I didn't
thing.
start it that way at all though. I started with some really nasty shit. Not nasty, I mean like Shan. So my girlfriend got me into. She wanted to watch drag stuff. So literally gave
Oh,
me
is it RuPaul's Drag Race?
exactly. So
Yeah.
she was watching and she's like, I'm like, what are you gonna watch? She's like, I'm gonna watch RuPaul's. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, come watch it with me. I'm like, okay, whatever. I sat down. I'm like, you know what? These guys are pretty creative. You know, they're making some pretty artistic. And I was like, okay, that's fun to watch, but I wouldn't watch this on my own ever in my life. And
Mm.
I would never restart another episode unless she really wants it, right? So I started watching that, and then when Iyad, Yakub, and I started going on Instagram, I see these Instagram stories of everyone talking about Life is Blind. I said, you know what? Why not? So Shana and I, we started watching it, and we thought it was really, really fun to watch. Then we got into The Circle, which was really fun to watch too. And then we got into The Circle France, which I thought was better than the US version, by the way. And then, yeah, then we watched Two Had to Handle, and now I'm pretty much a big reality TV show fan. I'm actually looking forward to new ones coming. It's just so fun to talk about with random people too. I feel, you know.
I mean, I think the nice thing about them, especially is there's you don't need to do any thinking.
No,
You
exactly.
just
You can
kind of
do
you
other
just kind of
stuff
like
too while watching.
exactly like
Yeah,
you're not really paying attention. Like, you can be playing games, you can be doing other
exactly.
things, and you're really not missing much. You kind of have like a general idea of where this is going. Whereas, let's say if you're watching a Netflix TV show,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
you kind of need to pay attention to the details. You need to pay attention to exactly what's going on. Um,
And also, you
I
root
don't.
for people too. Like when you're watching a reality TV show, you're always rooting for one couple or one person, and you always
Yeah.
hate one or two other people too, right? So it's fun to like if your friends agree too, you guys are bashing on someone together, or you guys are standing someone together. So it's always fun to do that.
Can I just, because you're talking about rooting, I assume at this point everybody has seen Love is Blind, and I was
Dude, Jessica.
rooting heavily for, no, not for Jessica and Mark. No, 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 bro. I was rooting heavily for, I think, Kelly and Ken. I think that those were their names. I don't
Oh,
remember.
right. The couple with the health practitioner and the really nice guy.
Yeah, like their families, they were
Like
chill,
the
they
ones
were
that
good.
never did it. Like when they had their honeymoon, they
Yeah, yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
cuddling and everything, but they never did it.
They
It
never,
was the only
they never
couple
went for the
outside
extra
Jessica.
step.
Yeah, the only couple outside Mark and Jessica, which we know were doomed from the beginning. They were the only other couple that didn't do it, and the guy was so nice. And even at the very end, when
When,
spoiler, big spoiler, giving
yeah.
you guys 2 seconds to mute
To
us or
pause,
not to.
quit, go get
Yeah,
caught up, whatever.
but spoiler, even at the altar, how do you say that? Altar? Even at
Alter.
the
I
altar,
think, I don't know.
when
Whatever.
she said no to him,
Hmm.
he instead of just walking away or getting mad, he tells everyone, "Sorry guys,
Yeah,
I apologize for that. You guys have to." He was such a nice guy.
mad respect. Like he handled it like a
He was
pro,
very
and
collected, yeah, calm and
and
collected in
like
that moment.
not only that, but even her mom, she's like, I love this guy. Like
Yeah,
this guy was
exactly,
actually
exactly.
really, really chill about the whole thing, and major kudos to him. It sucks that it happened, but
Well, she said she wasn't physically attracted to him.
mm,
So I
mm.
guess the show, even though it's like Love is Blind, I guess for a lot of these people, a lot of these couple, it's real. And I feel like for me to anyone else, a lot of people in real life, I feel like it really isn't. You have for love especially. I mean, love, yeah, but I mean everything aside just emotional connection. You
I
gotta
don't
be.
know, bro. Because I disagree. Because people keep saying it's like, while that's true, I completely disagree that it's the only thing that matters. Because okay, let's be
Oh, for
honest, bro.
sure.
You're gonna wake up next to that person
Yeah,
for
the rest of your life. Yeah.
Theoretically speaking,
For the rest of your
you
life.
know, exactly. Like, you don't look at someone and be like, oh, that personality, that's turn. No, but you know what I mean. Like, sure, the personality can ease you and make your life easy and make it nice and everything. But at the end of the day, there needs to be some physical attraction. You need to be attracted. The person doesn't need to be attractive. You need to be attracted to
To
them.
them,
There's a
100%.
very big difference. So the physical element does absolutely matter. So people that say no, it doesn't matter, or I don't care, I
I
only
mean, don't
see.
you think some people they eventually get attracted to someone because
Oh,
of yeah,
100%. I'm
even if they weren't
100%.
originally, they eventually can.
If I take a look back down memory lane, no shade, it's happened once before.
Oh, yeah,
You
for
know.
sure. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Me and the viewers don't. So would you like to elaborate? No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
um.
Well,
No. Yeah. So I can see exactly where that's coming from,
yeah.
but at the same time, dude, it plays such a huge impact. Like your first impression, the way they dress, the way they talk, the way they
Yeah.
act. It's so much more than personality. Absolutely, and personality
100%.
is a huge factor. Like, the people that say, "Oh, it's only personality," dude. Like,
No, for sure.
yeah, like I don't
And I
know.
think, yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I don't blame Jessica too much for not going with Mark or falling for
No,
him, because she wasn't physically attracted to him, and I
no,
understand
yeah.
that. What she did do wrong though is the whole, oh, you're my second choice,
Okay,
and
there you go.
you know,
Okay, thank you.
like tagging him along and whatever, not tagging him along, but like dragging him along and shit. Like that, I found was very, very out of.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Yeah,
Yes, she wasn't physically attracted to him, but she didn't need to even get engaged into
exactly,
all this to
exactly,
begin with. So
100%.
I do think I don't ever want to be on her side, even saying, I understand her point of view. I don't. She put herself in that point.
100%.
She wasn't even
She should
attracted
have,
to him.
from that moment, she should have been like, no, like as
Yeah,
hard as it
exactly.
may have been, I think she maybe after saying yes initially, maybe be like, no, just like the other couple that broke it off right after,
Exactly.
like as soon as they got to the honeymoon phase or whatever. I think that's what she should have
You
done
know what
instead
it
of
was though? She
what.
thought, yeah, he was her second choice. But she thought maybe if he's attracted to her physically too, it can make up for the fact that he's the second. But
Hmm.
because she wasn't attracted to him physically either, second choice was no longer a good thing anymore. But she was okay for second choice if he was better looking.
I don't know, bro. I think the one at fault here is him. To be honest with you,
Well, of course, as
Of
a
course,
he
guy,
like,
simped
yeah,
that hard.
yeah, I
He
was telling Shan like he's over the top simping.
And for those of you who don't know what simping is, we'll leave a little description up
you
here.
can Google it yourself.
But simping, yeah, you should just Google it. But he's basically a class definition of like, simp, and it's just so sad that he keeps trying to make himself feel better by saying he's trying to explain, like he's trying to excuse her. He's trying to excuse Jessica by giving reasons to why she behaved the way she. But no, you should not be accepting the type of behavior that she's doing. If she's the type of
especially
yeah.
especially when she was out like flirting with Barnett, and
Exactly. He's like, oh, I
like
understand. No, blah, blah. No, you don't. She's disrespecting you. Why are you okay with this? He's
super
trying to excuse her
Right.
instead of feeling bad for him. That's a lack of
Every
respect for himself.
every time I look at him, it reminds me of, remember back maybe I think 2 years ago, you had that Knuckles meme with the Queen.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you know
bro.
the way?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's literally all I think when I see him. That's
Yeah.
literally all. She
He
jumps
would
off a
be like
bridge,
my
and man's
queen. Yeah,
jumping off a bridge.
that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So it's definitely. I don't know if it's a lack of respect, but one of the things that I found, especially with that, was he was trying so hard for
Mhm.
some reason. I feel it had nothing to do with the show at all. He was trying so hard to just like kind of prove that he's older than he actually is, that he's more mature than he actually. Like I find that had nothing to do with it whatsoever. This is just something that
It
like
only
helped
happened
external
after, though.
factors. No, even during the like you feel like he has a thing where he's trying to prove himself. Like, no, I'm not young. I'm mature. I'm this.
Mm.
I'm I can like
I
that
th-
looks. It feels like it's like some complex he's developed over the years that he just like
I don't know.
because I
think it was just because of Jessica, to be honest.
That's
Just
what I
because
thought.
she
Yeah.
talked about the age difference. Because when you look at his friends and stuff, you know, they're around his age, like his roommates and
Exactly. He
whatnot.
didn't care
So
about
I
age on
think
security
it's
guard.
her
Like,
because she put a lot of emphasis
yeah.
on, oh, I'm like 10 years older than you. What's society gonna think? What are people gonna think? So I think he did his best to, you know, make himself as appealing as
And
possible.
you know what's sad in the end though is that she was like what at almost a decade older than him, and she had a successful job, like career. She was wealthy. She had everything going for her, and he was just starting off in a unfortunately less paying
Mm,
he doesn't pay as much as her job.
mhm.
And he didn't have his own place, he didn't have his own car, he was just living with roommates and whatnot. So they were in a completely two different places in their life.
Two
Like
different
that
worlds, yeah.
mattered. Obviously age gap doesn't matter a lot of times if you guys are in about the same stage in life, right? Someone is 20 and the other person is 30, but both of you are still in uni studying. I can see how that works. But if one person is like the CEO of a company, the other person is a barista, that's like a very different type of mentality, life point, like points in life and everything. And it's hard to work that out unless you guys make it. But for them, they didn't, like, Jessica did not want to put an effort to make that work at all. Mark really tried his best to live up to her expectation and he failed miserably. So that was just very sad to watch, in my opinion.
And one last thing I want to add before we move on, or if we move on, or whatever it is. Honestly, I think she finally, after dragging him along for so long, had the courage to say no at the altar, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, nobody from her friends or family showed
She
up.
didn't
She was
invite anyone. She knew
she
she was going to say
didn't.
no.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. She knew she was going to say no, so she didn't even want to waste any of their time. So she didn't even bother telling anyone, "Oh yeah, come, I'm gonna get married," because she
yeah.
already knew ahead of time she was gonna say no.
Okay.
Oh, you thought no one came?
I thought nobody came. I thought nobody supported, and and
Oh,
it's
it's
just
not
like
that nobody
no.
supported. She didn't even tell
Yeah.
that because if you think about it, she
Jeez.
did tell her friends, that she's marrying someone younger and everything, and they would have
Mm-hmm.
came. I'm pretty sure they weren't, and they didn't see an issue with.
They didn't know.
No, so
Yeah,
very
that makes sense. I didn't even think of that. Wow. I've been watching a lot of reality TV. Can you
yeah.
tell?
Okay, so would you participate?
Would I
No.
participate in Love Is Blind?
No, in a reality TV show.
Oh yeah,
Ah,
for sure. I think I definitely would, but not the drama type or the like romantic stuff. I think I would have participated in a reality TV, like an apprentice type of show, where you're following along a CEO or you're seeing like how to make money and stuff. Like
I
Dragon's
don't
Den
know.
type of reality show, but not really like
I don't know.
romantic.
Honestly, I find a lot of it, and I'm not talking about any specific shows in general, but I find a lot of it is faked in that
Yeah.
it's put in a way or directed in a way to
Yeah.
make you see the
Sometimes they
person.
refilm too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep
And
refilming stuff.
so they can, cut things or cut clips around or whatever to, make a certain character look a certain way or behave a
Oh,
certain way,
bro, the
right?
music and everything can change how you feel about someone. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think you might think it's a good idea, but then when you look at the end product, you're like, I hate myself. I hate myself for
Right.
this, even
Right.
though that wasn't what you intended to do at that, in that
If you could have
situation.
said
So,
something in such a neutral tone, but by adding like this intense music,
and
suddenly people will think you're insulting,
yeah,
even though
yeah,
you genuinely did not insult. And like even if the other person wasn't really receiving it the way where like the audience received, they're gonna make some stuff up to like stir up the pot just for the drama to come up. For sure, for sure. And that's why in this game that we're gonna be hosting, I'm gonna make sure you guys look horrible. I'm gonna plant you guys like evil dickheads. I'm gonna make sure the edits are just for like fun, but yeah, for sure, man.
I don't know. I find it be a very interesting experience because we keep looking at these shows and we're like, yo, these people are idiots.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm genuinely curious. Is maybe they're completely okay, maybe not completely, but maybe they're average people. Not overly smart, but stupid dumb either.
of
Uh,
course, yeah.
it's just the situation they're in forces them to act a certain
hmm
way. That's why I'd be down to do one.
Mahwa, the
Like
camera itself is gonna change you. Like it
yeah.
oh for
changes you
sure, oh
the
for
fact
sure.
that you have a
But
camera on.
just okay, just looking in the mirror, like no, just looking in the camera while we're doing the podcast. I'm starting to realize things I've never realized before. Like
Like what?
I just realized I move my mouth in a weird way.
Yeah, no, me
I
too.
I had
My
no idea. I
this
had no
one
idea. Like
goes
and
down.
it moves in an uneven way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Oh,
it's so weird.
wait, you guys too? Like,
Yeah, me,
I've
it's always
noticed
on my
this.
left side. It's uneven.
Yeah, bro. Okay,
Okay,
I was like that. I thought it was a birth
everyone
defect in
has
me.
one side. It's because we're like right now when I'm talking, you guys can see this is like sideways. I have to force myself to push it so that's even when I'm talking. And like
But that's
when
the
I see
thing. I
myself in the
never
camera,
even
I try
noticed
to
any of you guys.
No way. Actually,
no,
I've
but
never
actually, yeah,
noticed. I didn't even
I don't
notice you
see,
guys either.
I don't see you two either. Exactly. So how it is that we start seeing our that's the same thing about pimples on your own. You start seeing more about yourself than the other person.
Than the
And
other
also,
people.
guys, I want to put a hold. This should be a topic of our next podcast for sure. I want to discuss things that we notice about ourselves that we don't notice in others as an actual main topic for a podcast because I feel like that'd be very interesting to delve into.
Hmm.
But for now, yeah, like for sure, like I actually didn't know what Marwan was talking about his own because I don't pay attention to that either. But I kept looking at my own mouse because I noticed myself. And it's funny that Ia did the same thing and he didn't notice Marwan or that.
No, I didn't notice you guys. I was
Yeah,
like, yo, I'm the
exactly.
only one who's uneven. I gotta fix this. You know?
Exactly. That's crazy. That's definitely crazy. And also, I notice I'm moving my head a lot when I talk. Obviously, I don't see myself doing that, but I move so much when I'm talking. It's ridiculous. I hope you guys in the audience aren't annoyed by that. And also, another thing I hope you guys aren't annoyed by is our audio quality. We're going to make an effort to improve that over time, as we get budget and become more serious about it. But for now, you guys have to do with our 720p video quality and whatever audio quality we have right now, guys.
Honestly, yeah, we're gonna get a lot better with a lot of these as time goes by.
Yeah,
We're gonna start slowly figuring things out. It's not. It's. I don't think it's gonna take too much time, especially with the quarantine. We're gonna try and run as many episodes as we can. Chances are we won't publish the majority.
No, but like for example, this one actually, not to reiterate, I feel like we should publish it maybe soon, like maybe even right away. But let's just not give it a link to too many people yet, because so that we don't have to. Because I do want to get feedback from some friends and see how we can improve for the second podcast right away, and that'd be a good approach. But let's just not give it to too many people and spread it around, because that way they're gonna like the players of the game are gonna be able to see how you guys look and.
Yeah.
And also, I think we should come close to wrapping up. It's been 42 minutes that we're recording. But just as a final note, again, we're going to talk about that topic next time. I hope you guys are okay with it. I think it's a cool topic to dive deep into. Yeah. Any final thoughts?
Honestly, not really. No, I find this gonna be pretty good. We're obviously gonna do a follow up, especially as we do this podcast and as me and Yet are players in this game. We're gonna give you guys like a daily update on our feelings on exactly during that day during the podcast, because we're gonna do our podcasts I think maybe about an hour or so after the actual episodes are done. It's just kind of the way our schedules align. Like it's not intentional or anything. And so I'm gonna be very interested to see how we're both gonna take it, because like mind you, this is gonna be the same experience for all three of us.
Yeah.
But two of us are playing players and one of us is a moderator. So it's gonna be exactly it's gonna be like within the same environment.
And I'm not gonna hear any of the conversation until I get the footage to edit either. So for me, a lot of it I'm gonna be finding out just as I'm editing. So I can't wait to hear everyone's conversation.
Actually, you know what? But you know what I'd want for you to host a podcast episode, but without me and without Iyad. It's gonna be you, Shan, and Kayla, where you guys talk about prediction.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
For sure. I can definitely have that.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, I can definitely host this. Shan, my girlfriend, and perhaps my wife's friend Kayla, if we had them all. So Kayla's one of them who helped us recruit half.
Even Chloe, technically.
And yeah, Chloe was the girl that helped us recruit the other, my girlfriend's sister. So we can definitely have them on if they want to, and we can discuss about prediction. It won't be a long podcast, most likely. We're just gonna talk, unless we ramble on forever. But that'd be definitely a cool thing to do. And for the game, we're going to make sure we record everyone's face. And I'm going to do sort of like an interview for every member participating in the game right before we start the game too, just like a 5-minute interview with everyone, see how they're feeling. And that's going to be the introduction to the video, like the series start on YouTube as well. So you guys can look forward to that. So right now, I guess that's it for my updates. Anyone else have any final parting words?
Not really. I'm
just
excited for tomorrow.
Excited for it to start and see how it plays out.
Well, Let's hope the audio did get recorded this time so that we can call it our first episode for
Bro,
once.
if the audio didn't get recorded this, I'm telling you, yeah, coming to an agreement. We're finding a
Yes.
new member.
Yes, I'm gonna legitimately I'm gonna end it. This is it. Like I'm gonna go start a new career.
There you go.
Alright,
We started demonetized. We end demonetized. I like
exactly.
that.
All right, guys. Take care, and until next time.